Hey guys, so a slightly different video today. On my Instagram, @_ManishaP, I do lots and lots of baking and cooking, and I often get people saying, hey, can you film a video on this dish or this, or just any kind of dish for students? And I was making dinner tonight and I was like, I might as well film. So yeah, today I'm making a mac and cheese, very simple. I think the general thing, especially for students, when I've spoken to friends, is I want it to be quite simple, I want it to be quite easy and quick. Something that's relatively cheap but also tastes really good as well and is really filling. I would really say if you're going to make something, if you're going to spend a good half an hour in the kitchen, you might as well make something in bulk rather than small portions. So ideally you can take this, maybe have it for dinner and then take it for like lunch tomorrow, so you like save instead of like buying out. Or maybe you're going to make it for your flat and everyone eats, I don't know, whatever works for you. But I hope you enjoy this video. First thing you want to do is make sure you preheat your oven. I've got mine to 180. Although some macaroni cheeses you can just cook and leave it kind of on the stove. For me, I really love that good crunch on top. And so I'm going to pop it in the oven for like 10-15 minutes afterwards. So yeah. For the pasta, I went with some macaroni. I don't think you necessarily need macaroni for this. To be honest, any pasta will do. However, if you have it, brilliant. And this was a 500-gram packet. Because I'm making it in bulk, I imagine for one person I wouldn't do the whole packet because that is a lot of pasta. However, if you're doing it for a group, I would say this would feed probably about 6 people. So yeah. A quick tip that I would say whenever you're making pasta or boiling it is adding a little bit of salt to the water just so that it kind of stays seasoned, and also a little bit of olive oil so that when you drain it, it doesn't come all stuck together. It just a bit more loose. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is grate your cheese, and I've got some cheddar here. I would say cheddar is probably the best one for your like main sauce because it's tangy but still quite mellow. If you want to make it a little bit more fancy, on the top for the crust you can probably put some parmesan, but for the sauce, stick with the cheddar. So the next thing I'm going to do is sort out some breadcrumbs, and I don't think this is essential at all. However, most people tend to have some bread lying around, and for me the perfect macaroni cheese has to be cheesy but also have a really good crunch on the top, and for me breadcrumbs make it. So it's so easy to do. So for here I would use maybe about 2 pieces of bread, and we have seeded bread. It doesn't need to be seeded, but I think that works really well because it gives a really good texture. So about 2 pieces of bread, and here I have a blender, and I honestly think blenders are the best thing in the world, especially if you're a student, you know, whether you're making a smoothie or a soup or any kind of sauce, and also some breadcrumbs. So all you need to do is tear it up, pop it in here, whiz it around for a little, and you've got your breadcrumbs. And there you are, fresh breadcrumbs, really easy to make. Also, if you have any leftovers, you can just pop it into a little bag, pop it into the freezer, and it's brilliant, ready for next time. I'm going to add some oregano and some chili flakes just to it, just to add a little bit more flavour and add to that crunch on top. I've also got some leftover ham here. Ideally you would have something like bacon or pancetta to add to it so you get a little bit of saltiness. Instead, with my ham, I'm going to cut it up in small pieces, pop it in a pan, and just fry it really quickly and then add it in so you get that crunchy saltiness throughout. Okay, so the next thing to do is sort out your sauce. So this is kind of like your classic cheese sauce, which is such a good kind of skill to have because for a lot of pasta dishes, this is the main thing. So you want to be melting your butter, and then you're going to add in your plain flour and you're going to almost cook it. So you need it to all come together, and then you'll add in your milk, and then you add in your cheese and let that melt through and thicken the sauce, and then you can add in any kind of like seasonings, and that's your sauce sorted. Okay, so with your sauce, it's kind of a bit of adding, taking away, adding. So if it's too liquidy, simply add a little bit of flour at a time, keep mixing it. The ideal consistency is when it is all kind of soft and together, and we push it, it all moves as one, and you'd say it's more of a solid. Likewise, if you find it's becoming too dry and too tough, add a little bit of butter, melt it in, and then mix it. It shouldn't take too long, but you know, it's just kind of finding that balance, and hopefully you get that perfect one. So now my sauce is done, I'm going to add a few things just to make it a little bit more interesting. Some paprika for a little kind of warmth and spice, and also some garlic powder. Garlic powder is brilliant because instead of, you know, if you don't want to have like chunks of garlic throughout, you can still have that same flavour but in powder form. So I'm going to add a little bit of each of them, give it a mix, try it, and when I'm happy with it, that's it. I'm also going to add some whole grain mustard. This I would say is not too expensive, but not necessarily something everyone has. However, it's a pretty good investment. You can put that in like a salad dressing. I put it with pasta on the side or inside the sauce, whatever it is. I think whole grain mustard goes really, really well. And yeah, definitely something you can try and get. And there we go. So I layered all of that pasta and the cheese sauce with some jalapenos and some little bacon bites, and then topped it with more grated cheese, and then those breadcrumbs, and then a drizzle of olive oil just to make sure it comes out nice and crunchy. And yeah, into the oven for about 15 minutes. And there you go, a really easy, super delicious, quick macaroni cheese. Hope you enjoy. Bye.